Hello, my name is Priscilla Macanhao, and I help people to find and sustain a long-lasting relationship. Today's subject is why do they always come back after we let go? To illustrate that, I'm going to talk about the story of a client that I had years ago. And she was telling me that when she was very young, she had this boyfriend and he would always break up with her. And every time she would move on, he would come back. And she wanted to understand what was going on. And I asked her, how was she doing when she was with him? Like, how was the relationship? And she told me that she was so young, that she was so in love, and she would spend the whole day focusing on him, writing love letters, thinking about what he would like, how he could love her more, how she could be more attractive to him, what he would like to do. Anyway, like lots of way of pleasing him. All the focus was put on him. So she was putting him on a pedestal, like he was the only important person there, the only interesting person. And he was learning that she was not important, that she was not interesting. After all, she was not interested about herself. She was only interested about him. So after a while, he would take her for granted and break up with her again. So why he would come back? Why all of a sudden she would become interesting again? She was like, maybe it was because I found a new boyfriend, but it's weird because he doesn't know that I have a new boyfriend. So I will try to make sense of that here today. And usually everybody knows that they come back and because we move on. But what really happens there? And I want to try to dig a little more into that. So what happens when she moves on? Like, why is that so attractive? What is behind that? So first of all, she doesn't wait for him anymore to behave in a certain way to be happy. She, like, when you're alone, when you, like, in this her case, she got abandoned by him, she was like, okay, so now I need to do something for me to be happy because I cannot expect him to feel more and more in love with me so I can be good, feeling good about myself. So she takes care of, like, takes ownership of her life. So that's the first point. The second point is that she puts the focus back on herself and take care of her needs. Everybody knows, like, after a breakup, like a divorce or something, everybody usually goes to the gym, lose weight, start therapy, go cut the hair, do color, nail shop, everything. And they start feeling great about themselves. Maybe they'll read some self-help books and they'll have new friends. So everything will start changing and they'll be taken care of. And so being taken care of, we start to feel whole again and happy again. And that is so attractive. So she puts herself first as far as taking care of herself. So here's the thing. When she was with him, he was the focus. He was the most important. He was everything that was, like, important in her life. And relationships are a reflex. I'm going to explain. Other person will treat you the way you treat yourself. So if she's not paying attention to herself because the guy is much more interesting, so she only pays attention to him. Relationship is a reflex. It's like you seeing yourself in the mirror. So he's going to behave like she behaves. And he's going to behave like not giving her attention, not thinking that she's interesting, like taking her for granted because she was taking her for granted in the first place. So that's very important for us to understand in many, many different areas of our lives, but in different areas of the relationship, situations of the relationship, that always happens. And this mirror is so powerful. It's not a straight mirror, like a direct mirror, but it's always trying to help us and to show something about us that if we adjust, we're going to become so much more happy. So that's very powerful and is a blessing. because sometimes we cannot see ourselves. And that happened to me so many times over the years that I wouldn't be able to see myself. And being young, I wouldn't realize that was myself in the mirror, but it was so often that I would just do just the same. Like, I would just focus on what this guy likes to eat, what this guy likes to do. Let me do what he likes to do too, so we can hang out, and what kind of music he likes. And then I start liking the kind of music he likes, what kind of place he likes to go, and I start liking the same place. It's so, like, we want so much to be loved and to be perfect. I wanted to be perfect for the guy. Like, within 3 weeks, I wanted him. My goal was that he really knows that I was the one. I was perfect. And it's so hard work. And it doesn't pay off, because the guy understands that you're not that interesting. The guy understands that you don't have a life. You don't pay attention to yourself. Like, who are you? And you may be great looking, but when somebody comes close to you, then they will realize other things about you. And usually that's not that attractive if you're behaving like I was behaving. So going back to my notes here. When he realizes that she doesn't need him, that's the bad part, is to need somebody. It's not that you enjoy, like everybody, most of the people enjoy being in a relationship. It feels great. It feels great if you're in a good relationship. But when he realizes that she doesn't need him, he comes back. Because he feels, even though he may not see her, but she didn't come after him, maybe he'll see that she's moving on, that maybe he'll see her in social media or something, and he'll feel that she's really moving on. And it's not faking moving on. You gotta be really, because I see a lot of people faking that in social media, posting oh, I'm so happy. Please don't do that. It's you can tell right away that the person is forcing it. After every breakup, we need to mourn. We need to, go deep within ourselves and live that moment and suffer that, the end of that dream, the end of, the imagination that maybe we have that this is the one, whatever it is. But we have to be able to go deep and feel this pain in order to move on. We cannot fake or just avoid this emotion, because when we avoid emotions, it keeps there, stays there deep inside, and you're never feeling really great. When you let yourself, allow yourself to suffer and to feel this pain maybe for a week and cry whatever you need to cry, then you're able to move on and feel happy again. So the guy comes back because it feels good for his ego to know that somebody needs him, and he wants to check, does she really need me? It feels good for him. So maybe he want to keep her liking him or needing him. The problem with need, he may feel good knowing that somebody needs him, but that is so not attractive. That's why people say, they don't like the good girls, they like the, But that's the thing. If you need somebody, you're not attractive. If you have love to give, if you're happy, and if your life is already great before this person, then you have love to give. Then you're attractive, because you don't need this person. If the person goes away, you're going to stay just as happy as you were before. Of course, there's a adjustment, but you're not going to die if the person moves on. So if you don't have love, you are a beggar. Osho says that, and I think it's so perfect when he says that, because a beggar is not attractive. It's a kind of repulsive energy. People don't understand why, but they don't feel attracted to you. And you can be so gorgeous and wonderful, but when somebody comes close to you, they'll realize that you're a beggar. And beggars are not attractive. Because you're begging for love. Because you need. So just like banks, if somebody needs money and has like millions and millions, like somebody really rich goes to the bank and asks for money, they give. They don't even need to go to the bank. The bank calls them to offer money. Now, if a beggar goes to the bank and asks for $10, they don't give $10. And to the rich people, they will give millions. So what's the difference here? Love is the same. The difference is the bank gives money to people that have money. Love is given to the ones that have love to give. So they have people that already have love within themselves because they are able to fulfill themselves. They take care of themselves. They have love to give. So they are rich. So rich people in terms of love is the ones that will be attractive enough to get more and more love. And that's something that's, we always think we have a lot, but I have so much love to give. I'm such a nice person. No, I always thought that I had so much love to give when I was doing that kind of thing with relationships, and I was doing everything for the person to love me. And I thought that I was so full of love, that I was such a nice person, but I realized that I was a beggar. I was just doing anything to feel loved, to this person to love me back, because I really needed that. And that's not attractive. So in my case, it would be the same. Like after a month, the person would start like not acting so, like not investing anymore so much. And I would realize that, and I would just move on. And because I really wanted them, like that reaction of really loving me so much. And when I moved on, the guys would always come back, because they would be like, wait a minute, she's not a beggar. She's not like, she doesn't need me. She's moving on. She's happy. But I wouldn't take them back because I knew that they didn't have love to give. And that being said, when we are beggars, we attract another beggar. We align ourselves with another beggar. And can you imagine two beggars like trying to get money from each other? Even if they want to give money to each other because they really like each other, they don't have to give. And love is the same. How are you going to give love if you don't have real love within yourself? And you may think you do, but you don't, because if you don't give yourself love first, you don't have enough love to share. The love that we give to others, that's true love, that's real love, is the love that overflows from within ourselves, is the extra love that we have inside and is extra. So everybody that's around, it's touched by this love. So that's another important point. Talking about Osho, I want to read a quote here that I think is brilliant. The capacity to be alone is the capacity to love. It may look paradoxical to you, but it is not. It is an existential truth. Only those people who are capable of being alone are capable of love, of sharing, of going into the deepest core of other person without possessing the other, without becoming dependent on the other, without reducing the other to a thing, and without becoming addicted to the other. They allow the other absolute freedom because they know that if the other leaves, they will be as happy as they are now. Their happiness cannot be taken by the other because it is not given by the other. And I think this is a great quote to show a little more about this that I was talking about, the dependency of the beggar, the person, the dependent is the person that needs. Is not like people have the basic needs, the pyramid of Maslow talks about that. And when you already like have security, you already have food, you have your basic needs taken care of, you go for needs like affection love and connection and this kind of thing. And we really want these needs to be taken care of. We need that in order to survive. And if we don't know how to do for ourselves, we beg other people to do that for us. And that's the reason why sometimes people take breadcrumbs, because they really need to survive. And if they don't know how to give a real meal for themselves, for them to prepare a real meal for themselves, they will beg whatever breadcrumbs somebody can give. And this is breadcrumbs, because if you don't know what you need, if you cannot take care of your needs, how somebody that just met you or maybe met you 5 years ago will know exactly what you need? This is not so easy. Even if the person really wants to give love to you, he really wants to be there for you, this person will have their own life and their own needs and their own interests and their own life, and they need to pay attention on their work and their family and everything else. So it's not going to be 100% of the time available to you. And what happens when this person is not available to you? Then you're without love. Then you're just thinking about the moment, holding your breath till this person comes back. So you become dependent. This is not good, and it's not attractive. So needing is for kids. Just like when we were kids, we needed our parents to take care of us, of all our needs, because we didn't know. So before we know that we're hungry, the parent or whoever was taking care of you would know and give you food. Before you know that you're sleepy, they would put you to sleep, or cold, and they didn't know that they're cold, but the parent would come and bring a jacket. So parenthood type of love sometimes is what we expect from partners. We want them to know what we need and take care of this for us. But that's we're not kids anymore. We gotta go to relationships as adults, because that's the only kind of relationship that is possible for adults. Healthy relationship is with adults. It's not to children, because a child doesn't know how to take care of another child, but we sometimes expect that. Isn't that crazy? So our parents took care of our needs the way they could, the way they learned, the way that they were probably taken care by their own parents, and with the resources that they had. We expect superheroes, not humans, as parents. And we get frustrated by that. This idea of superheroes is the child thinks that the parents are superheroes and have great expectations, that they are enlightened, that they have everything figured out, that their life is everything is they don't understand. A child would never understand, my parents have depression, my parents have depression, my mom had depression. No, they just understand, my mom doesn't love me, my mom doesn't pay attention to me, I'm not good enough. So the kids won't understand that. But as adults, we need to understand that we were, when kids, expecting superheroes, but they are actually not. And we need to understand. So being an adult allows you to accept that we are all evolving in this life, and that they did their best to show love the way they could. And the child will not many times understand or accept that. So we'll keep complaining and focus on everything that was not good and aligning with more of that, because it's the same vibration. So that everything that you keep complaining about, please focus on what you want, not what you don't want, because you're just aligning with more of what you're focusing on. Tony Robbins always talk about that. So as an adult, we have the capacity of knowing what we need, and we need to be the parent of the small child that lives within ourselves today. Today, you need to be the best mom and the best dad you can be to this small child that lives within yourself. and give so much love and give everything she or he needs, what they want to hear. They need to be listened to. They need to be said good words. What we tell us sometimes, like we go in the mirror and we list all the things that we don't like, and we keep like saying bad things to us. Oh, you're stupid. Oh, you're ugly. You are this and that. And no wonder why then the outside world reflects the same. Other people will tell us the same things that we tell ourselves and we don't like. So remember to go in front of the mirror and look at everything that you have good and focus on that, and give compliments to yourself, give love to yourself. Don't give criticism, don't give judgment, don't give guilt. Remember that if you're a very loving mom and dad, that's how you're going to take care of yourself, okay? Sometimes a lot of people will do like procedures to look good. We all love procedures, is wonderful, but the problem is to have a long-lasting relationship. When somebody come close to you, they will notice your interior world. And beauty is not contagious. Real happiness is. So if I'm this person that takes good care of myself, I'm really happy within, and then that overflows. It's very contagious to other people around me. When I'm not really happy within, I'm expecting the other person to make me happy, to treat me in a certain way, to show me this love and do things to make me happy, and I'll be always frustrated. When we get close, go deep in relationships, our wounds will be exposed. Usually those wounds that unconsciously we try to heal with the relationship. So it tends to get ugly. That's why we need to know ourselves and to really focus on ourselves. And this idea of really focusing on the other person really is very hard for a relationship to last. So listen to yourself, be your best friend, look at yourself with love, and the whole world will reflect that. Everybody else will treat you like you treat yourself. Remember that. How are you treating yourself? You're not a victim. You are creating your reality all the time with your thoughts, with your emotions, with your feelings. And that's so important that you take care of them in order to create a good life to you. Because now you're an adult and you got this. You take care of this. You don't expect anybody else to do it for you. Okay? Well, that was my first podcast in English. I have many in Portuguese, and a lot of friends and family were asking me to do in English. It's very hard for me. It doesn't flow as well, but bear with me. My English will get better, and hopefully we'll get more out of this podcast. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next podcast. Bye-bye.